Welcome, Emily. I so look forward to working with you as your mentor
Thank
throughout
you.
this program.
Thanks, Annette.
Um, we have had a bit of an email exchange up till now, so I'm really curious around your background and how have you become you and
Yep.
where you're at today. So what? Yeah, tell me your background.
I started my career actually in hospitality. I did that from quite young,
Oh,
um,
wow.
probably from about 14. Um, Sometimes I had two jobs, so I was doing, waitressing as well as, shorthand cook. Went into function waitering and took that step into a like hotel services. So I got a scholarship from my year 12 um, HSC. So I kind of went into that field, got the scholarship from TAFE and did that training.
Wow.
And that's where thought I was heading. And then I thought it was probably time to get a full-time job. But I didn't take the hospitality route. I went to hire. So I started at a Greco Generator Rentals when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my love for hire started.
Okay.
Got to the point where I wanted to, spread my wings. So got another position in hire working for Clark Equipment. And then I fell pregnant with my son. So I had a 9-month break, realizing very quickly that I liked work a lot.
All right.
And then, yeah, started at Orange Hire, and that was nearly 5 years ago now. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
I'm curious, the step to go into hire,
hmm
what was the influence there?
I think at that point, I was just looking for a full-time role. I knew at that point I didn't want to go into hospitality. It was a lot of traveling towards the city, really strange hours as well.
Right.
So I wanted to live a little as you do at, 18, 19.
Mhm.
And, at one point I did have three jobs, but, that's me. I've been, you know, brought up in a world of work, a good work ethic. So, yeah, I didn't see it as hire. It was more of a job.
Right.
And then quite quickly, I got the opportunity to grow a lot. I was thrown into a lot of things,
Mhm.
and I embrace change a lot. So it
Wow. Okay.
kind of it just naturally happened. It wasn't an interest, and then yeah, it just kind of went that way. So it was
And you have a son and just
yeah.
one child now?
One child, yep. Jarvis is 5 years old, so he's
Okay.
first year at school.
Okay.
So yeah, he's loving it.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so now your current role, you're in a leadership role?
So I am a senior sales coordinator. So I look after the hire desk. So I've got three others that I look after.
Okay.
And I do a lot of sales coordinator roles, but as well as assisting the branch manager in anything or any task that they need help with.
Right.
So yeah.
And so the three staff, so you've been leading for how long? How long have you had staff?
So I've been, I'm going to say maybe a few months,
Okay.
maybe 4 months. Yeah.
So relatively new
Yeah,
to
very
lead.
new. Yeah.
Okay.
I did start Orange Hire as the same kind of role, but it was more of a in support office, looking after people that, because back then it was more of a hire desk that looked after all of the branches.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's the branches looking after all their own hire.
Got it.
But
Okay.
we had a lot of change in the company. So now I'm back to where I started, or what I started doing with Orange Hire back then. But that
Okay.
was 4 years ago now. So,
Right.
yeah.
So we're going to work together
hmm
for about 12 months. And I'm really curious around what are your best hopes for this experience? What are you hoping to walk away with?
I want to, well, the end result would be to be a great leader. And I think myself having the confidence to be that leader. I am a quietly spoken human. you know, so, and I do think a lot. So communication is not my forte, I would say,
Okay.
but finding my voice would be one.
Okay. Awesome.
And yeah, eventually to be an operations manager at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's maybe, which one of those would you like to start with first? So we have, we set some, a direction of where you want to get to. So I like to get really clear of what the end in mind looks like. So would it be useful that we started with being a great leader and having confidence?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in 12 months' time,
Mm-hmm.
suppose you walked away from this experience and you went, yep, I've got the confidence now, and I feel like I'm on the path to being a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you would wanting to be seen in a year's time?
From myself, from others, what they see in me.
Either way, we'll start with you. What would you notice about yourself if that confidence was there?
I'd be rock solid. I wouldn't have any, what's the word?
Doubts, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self doubt. Yeah.
So rock solid, how would you know that you are rock solid? What would you be
Um,
noticing?
so even when we did our coaching yesterday, talking about feedback and having learn-based observations with the team, I think it's whatever anyone had to say to me or talk to me about, if it was, you know, getting on the defense mechanism, I'd be able to confidently stand up and say something to them without feeling like I was, you know, I had a backbone to be able to do that, I guess. I'd be able to confidently just go back with what I had to say in a good way to them.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of, yeah.
And what else would rock solid look like?
I'd be standing tall. I just have no self-doubt whatsoever.
Okay. And what would be there instead of the self-doubt?
Confidence. I would be a great leader. There would be no doubt in my mind about myself and my, you know, yeah, good question.
So maybe what another angle is what might your three staff notice that you're rock solid as a leader, there's confidence there. What might they notice?
My communication would be top notch. The way I communicated, there would be.
How would they notice that it was top notch? What specifically might they notice?
Don't know, the firmness in my voice. The God, I don't even know. You've stumped me.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So what difference would it make to them if you were your communication was top notch?
They'd be able to trust me. I'd have a trusting team. We'd have each other's back, and we'd be, you know, a solid team to get the job done. There'd be no doubt. We'd be absolutely smashing it. Really.
Wow. And so I'm curious, so what would others notice about you and your team if this confidence was there, there's firmness, the communication was top notch? How might others notice that?
They'd realise that we're a solid unit and we're unstoppable. Really. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And what else might you notice to tell you that you're a great leader with confidence? What else would you notice about yourself?
Can you say that one again, please?
What else would you notice if you have arrived at being a great leader and that confidence is
What
there?
would I notice? What would I notice? I think the confidence would ooze out of me. Everyone would be happy around me. They'd be able to trust me 100%. I'd be that vault that I was talking about that I want to be.
Yeah.
I might write that down myself.
That's
Um,
great. Yeah.
and yeah, just that 100% no doubt, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who else might notice this? Other.
Probably senior management. I think they'd probably have a trust as well.
Oh, right.
They'd
Okay.
trust me in that sense and have that confidence to know that I'd be able to do the job well.
And what difference would that make to them if they notice that confidence is oozing out of you and
Could probably step up to be a leader. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So if that's a 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
where would you say your starting point is, given you've been in the
Oh,
role for months
yeah. I
and one is no evidence of any of that? What
yeah.
would you say you're at now?
3.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how come it's a 3 and not a 2? What's already in place and heading that way?
So I think with my coaching, that stress has left my body when having conversations and just being human with my team, and just starting to
Learning,
foundation
getting in the coaching,
coaching that
learning
you
about coaching. Yeah.
exactly, yep,
Yeah.
and the templates to use, the tools to use, to be able to have those one-on-ones, to have those, constructive observation conversations in a good way, and um, not offend anyone, but know that my voice is, to be heard, I guess.
Mm. And
Yeah.
how are you noticing that happening, where your voice is
I think
going to be
people
heard?
are listening more and they're being more open towards me. So that's
Okay.
that's something that I've
Okay.
definitely seen. Yeah.
And how have you done that?
Just by starting to build trust with my one-on-ones,
With
doing
your
stuff
3?
with my 3 staff,
Mm.
and then doing one-on-ones with them regularly. So, going through, um, you know, how I can help them if there's anything they need from me, giving them compliments and recognition for the good work they're doing and things like that.
Wow,
Um,
I'm impressed you've already applied some of the things you learnt from the coaching program.
yeah, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
been good. Yeah.
awesome.
And
So if we
perfect.
say that again, sorry.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes, yes. So if we moved it to a 4,
Yes.
what would be some signs you're making progress here?
Um, I think other people would start noticing we're a rock solid team. It's been a bit hit and miss for the last few months, but I think with our change of management, a different direction, a restructure of the team,
Mm.
to become that rock solid team with one another, being that vault with confidential conversations with my team, and just knowing that I would have their back 100%. I'd be leading them in a certain way, um, you know, just standing beside them, walking and, on the path. So
Wow.
yeah.
So what might you do next? What might be a small step that you could start taking to start helping others notice, in terms of that confidence starting to appear and that the trust is being formed? What might be a really small step you could take in the coming days?
Oh, good question. We'll have my one-on-ones tomorrow, so that might be, good question. I don't know.
So what might you do in those one-to-ones to help move things forward to this confidence being there?
You got me. I don't know. I don't know.
So what might your 3 staff members notice in that one-to-ones, if they're saying, wow,
Yeah.
starting to notice Emily's confidence?
Can you say that one again, please, Annette?
That's okay. So in your one-to-ones that you have tomorrow,
Yeah.
what might be a sign that your 3 staff members notice that, wow, there's a bit of confidence happening here with Emily, and these conversations are a bit different? What might they notice?
I think me finding my voice would be one. I wouldn't be so softly spoken and to be a bit more, you know, firm voice, feeling no doubt in my mind or getting better.
Mm.
And probably my openness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of experimenting
It is 100%.
in those conversations. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, as I said, we're going to be working together for about a year. We probably meet once a month if that works for you, and we'll probably meet for an hour each time.
Yes.
So people have told me, in terms of mentoring relationships, the actions that get taken in between sessions make the time when we get together, more fruitful.
Yes.
So I'd be recommending to you, and actions can just be noticing actions. It doesn't actually have to be taking steps. But notice when that confidence starts to emerge, given you're starting to apply your coaching skills that you picked up from the program over the last few weeks. So I'm wondering, when's the next good time for us to meet, say in 4 weeks' time?
Yeah, probably 22nd.
22nd, okay.
Yeah.
And we had spoken about finding somewhere in between where we both are located.
Yes.
So we talked about Parramatta being a place. So let's see where we can meet in Parramatta. We'll find a cafe or something that might be useful for us to meet there. What I can do is I can send you my resume, and if you send me your resume, it's good to, you've given me a bit of a thumbprint of your background, but it's good for us to get to know each other. And lastly, I'd say get yourself a notebook, journal, something that you can keep a track of what the conversations we have. So it's all in the one place and you're not searching notes all over the place, and I'll do the same. In terms of how I work with you, today I was a more coaching style, but there's going to be times where you have no experience, no knowledge about certain topics, and I'm happy to share there. So I'll probably be more in that mentoring role at that. But I'm going to alternate between the two because you've got a wealth of experience that we can draw on in these conversations. But this is your time. You decide where we focus. If there's something more pressing that emerges, and you go, I've got to present tomorrow in a meeting, in a senior leadership meeting, and I'd really like to work out what I'm going to say. Happy to be flexible around what's going to work best for you.
Beautiful.
So what's been most useful today from our conversation?
I think to put it down and have a conversation with someone about it is probably what is the most exciting bit about today. Just getting a clear vision, understanding where I've been and then where I'm going.
Awesome. So I'm wondering if we named this goal, had a headline or a project name, what would you name it?
Oh, very good question.
Project what?
Project leader? No, that sounds weird, doesn't it? Journey to leader? Journey to leadership?
Journey to leadership?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's put that down, and if it changes between now and next time that you think of something that inspires you more, we can change it then. And between now and next time, if there's anything in terms of potential areas that you'd like to focus on over this time, happy to build that in as well. Yeah. And we had spoken about communication and finding your voice, and you also said that operations manager was a role that you'd like to go for. So we can talk more about that next time.
Yep. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. So let's communicate through email in terms of locking in that time.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Annette.